In February 2016, someone tried to steal $1 billion from a central bank. Not a vault, not a truck full of gold. $1 billion, moving as quietly as an email. And they almost got away with it, until a single spelling mistake brought the whole thing down. This is the story of the Bangladesh bank heist. And the first thing you need to know is that it didn't start in 2016. It started a year earlier with a job application. In January 2015, employees at Bangladesh Bank received emails from a polite job seeker named Russell. His resume was attached. At least one person opened it. That resume carried malware, and the moment it ran, the attackers were inside the bank's network. They didn't steal anything, not for months. They just watched. They mapped the network, they learned the daily rhythms, and they found their way to the room that mattered, the SWIFT terminals. SWIFT is the messaging system banks use to move money internationally. Trillions of dollars a day travel as SWIFT messages. If you can send authentic messages from inside a bank, you don't need to rob it. You can just politely ask the money to leave. Bangladesh Bank keeps its money the same place many countries do, in an account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The plan? Send the Fed real SWIFT orders from the real terminal with real credentials, telling it to wire the money out. Now the clever part. A transfer this size triggers questions, and questions need someone awake to ask them. So the attackers built a window where no one was awake anywhere. In Bangladesh, the weekend is Friday and Saturday. In New York, it's Saturday and Sunday. And Monday, February 8th, was the Lunar New Year, a bank holiday in the Philippines, where the money was headed. Thursday night in Dhaka, February 4th, they struck. Bangladesh asleep, New York about to leave for the weekend, the Philippines about to close for a holiday. A 5-day blind spot, by design. There was one loose end. Every SWIFT transfer prints a paper confirmation on a printer in the bank. A physical receipt no hacker can delete. So they didn't delete it. Their malware just quietly broke the printer. When staff arrived Friday morning, the tray was empty. No receipts, no alarm. Just a broken printer and a note to call IT. That night, 35 payment orders went to New York, $951 million. It should have worked. It half did. 5 orders, $101 million, went through. Then the plan started dying from tiny cuts. First cut, an address. 4 of the receiving accounts sat at a bank branch on Jupiter Street in Manila. Jupiter also happened to be the name of a sanctioned Iranian ship. An automatic screening system at the Fed flagged the word, pure coincidence, and held 30 orders for review. $850 million saved by a street name. Second cut, the Typo. One $20 million transfer was addressed to a Sri Lankan charity called the Shalika Foundation, except the attackers spelled it Fandation. A routing banker in Germany read the word foundation, got curious, and asked questions. The transfer was reversed, $20 million, undone by one wrong vowel. But $81 million made it to those 4 accounts in Manila, accounts opened a year earlier with fake IDs and $500 deposits, sitting dormant, waiting. Within days, the money was withdrawn, converted, and walked into casinos. Why casinos? Because at the time, Philippine casinos were exempt from the anti-money laundering law. Once the money hit the tables, its trail legally evaporated. Most of it has never been recovered. Back in Dhaka, staff spent the weekend fighting the printer. When they finally got it running, it spat out a backlog of confirmations for transfers nobody had made, including questions from New York asking if the orders were real. The blind spot had worked perfectly. The FBI later traced the operation to the Lazarus Group, hackers working for North Korea, the same crew behind the Sony Pictures attack. $1 billion heist run by a state. So what actually failed? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. The hack was the easy part. Everything that failed was something simple. The door in was a phishing email. One attachment, opened by one person, and the most sophisticated security in the world sits downstream of that click. And once inside, the attackers could reach the Swift room from the ordinary office network. The systems weren't walled off from each other. One flat network, so one infected laptop could eventually touch the most sensitive terminal in the building. Then there's the printer. It sounds silly, but that printer was the bank's alarm bell, its audit trail. The attackers understood something defenders forget. You don't have to beat the monitoring. You just have to unplug it and bet that humans will shrug at a broken machine on a Friday. Every weird IT glitch at a bad moment deserves suspicion because attackers schedule their work around your weekends. And the last line of defense, the one that actually worked, wasn't a firewall. It was people reading carefully. A screening filter caught a word. A banker questioned a typo. Boring, careful review, catching what all the technology upstream had missed. The full battle plan, the phishing, the flat network, the silenced alarms, is the same playbook behind almost every breach in this series. 60 seconds of this story went viral as a short. This was the rest of it. If you want more true hacking stories told properly, subscribe. There's a new one coming.